Hello, gamers, and welcome to episode 480 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for December 28th. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
All right, man. Happy holidays to everybody. Hope everybody had a good holiday, a good Christmas. You know, this is America. We say Christmas over here. I was joking. But no.
This podcast is America.
Yeah, so I hope everybody had having a happy holiday. Still, happy Hanukkah. Or a Boxing Day. Have people, up there in Canada. I wonder who still celebrates Boxing Day like this. Like say, hey, happy Boxing Day. I mean, I just want to hear people talk about it. I just see it on the calendar.
That's because you're not Canadian, Dominic. It's very important to them.
I'm just saying. I'm just thinking, like, what, Canadians aren't Christians? Like, what the hell? Like, do they still celebrate Christmas and then they have Boxing Day? Is that what it is? Like, how does that work? I don't know. But anyway, it's been like a big week in sports, huge week. I think last week I talked about the college playoffs starting, and it happened. Well, they happened because I forgot when we recorded the podcast. We did it Sunday, I think it was the day after it happened. So I talked about it. So we're still waiting for the second round, which is going to be on New Year's Eve for that. Like I said, I'm not really rooting against anybody, so I don't know who's going to win. I'm just kind of watching. The first round it kind of sucked. I'm trying to think. I don't remember if I talked about it. Maybe the playoffs didn't happen yet when I was talking. I forget. But I know the first round sucked because it was one-sided. All the games, the favorites won, but they won convincingly. It was just blowouts. Some people were disappointed, saying like, "Oh, they picked the wrong team. They should have picked better teams." Even though the better teams that people thought they had more losses, but they said, "Hey, it would have been a better games." But you don't know that. And then still, I'm like, because a lot of Alabama fans, basically, or people who just want Alabama. It's just like, yo, that doesn't mean Alabama would have played better. I mean, they should have lost 3 games. And they lost, I know they lost to Oklahoma. They shouldn't have lost to Oklahoma. Like, Oklahoma's really, if they would have been Oklahoma would have a losing record. But you let them beat you, and then you have 2 other losses. And who's to say that your division, and some people just say about the division, because the division's good. But who's to say? Because all y'all play is y'all division. Yeah. So I don't know how good they are. And Tennessee got blown out by Ohio State. They're in the SEC, and they beat Alabama. So I don't know what you're saying. So it's questionable on many, like I feel like they picked based on the records that these guys do, because they say like who they played or whatever. And because to me, that's what somebody says. Like if that's the whole thing, is you just picking teams based on if it's going to be a good game, then why even have a season? Yeah. Like and that's what I'm saying. It's like, then why that? Now I will agree that I don't think they should rank teams before the season, because they just rank based on the draft class. Well, not drafting, but who they pick, who they recruit. That's how they rank them for the season. Maybe they shouldn't stop doing that. Stop ranking these teams before the season, even though, because now the whole with the nil thing and everything like that, it's just like, and now you got a playoff system. Like you're already setting teams up to be high on the mark for the beginning. They haven't played the game yet. Yeah. I think that should change now. But yeah, I just like, nah. If it gets to a point where you just pick a team just to be more, to have a competitive games, get the hell out of here with that, man. Because then at that point, you're wrestling. You're wrestling like them choosing what matches to have. Because it's like, what are you doing?
Who's booking this football?
Yeah. It's like, then it's like, don't even have a regular season, dude. Or just pick the top 12 teams you think going to be it, and just have them play like their thing, and then everybody else be separate. I mean, god darn. Anyway, so like I'm not gonna really go into all the college football. One of the reasons because I don't remember the teams and I don't feel looking them up right now. Like who's in there? But I know that Notre Dame won, Penn State won, and Ohio State won, and they're gonna be playing whoever's left. Who's left? Like they go to the next round and play the other teams that had bye weeks. Okay, so where else we have? I know NFL, big NFL week. Washington won. They beat Philly. We upset Philly, even though their quarterback got knocked out early. But here's the thing: people gonna say Jalen Hurts. If he would have played, they would have won. I believe that too. But here's the thing: y'all should have won without Jalen Hurts. Y'all were up 14-0. It was early up 14-0, but we had 5 fucking turnovers that game. We turned the ball over 5 times. Technically, we turned the ball over 6 times because we went for it on 4th down and didn't get it at midfield. So y'all had basically 6 turnovers in the game.
Yeah.
It's only been 5, but stat-wise, 5. And I think they said how many, I forgot what the stat was, but how many teams have won a game with 5 turnovers? I think it was like 1 or 2, maybe 1. I forget. Something low. You don't lose. And then y'all had 33 points at the end of the day. Anthony, you scored 33 points with 5 turnovers. You win that game. We won. We came back on the last drive of the game, scored with seconds left. We got a touchdown. He thrown 5 touchdowns. Jayden Daniels had 5 touchdowns that game. I mean, it's just freaking. This guy's crazy. This is like how good this guy is. I'm like, oh my goodness, thank God we got somebody here. Like this guy is freaking awesome. Like it's just amazing how he is just so poised, and that this game was like over. Look, they were up 14-0 before they're up 7-0. Jalen got hurt, but they were about to score anyway, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's see what happens here. They scored. We gave the ball back. It was just looking so ugly, man. Like they were like, I was like, darn, we're gonna lose regardless. And then what? Saquon Barkley had 104 yards in the first quarter, rushing. Yeah. Like it was just, I was like, oh my God, this is a burst, and this is gonna be one of those games. And I thought Saquon was going to fucking break records, and I was like, but we stopped him. I think he only scored. I forgot how many rushing yards he ended up having after that. It was low, and it was like we were stopping him. And yeah, it was easy to stop because with Jalen Hurts out, all you had to do was focus on really stopping him. But it wasn't like the quarterback was bad. I mean, he's still the backup guy. He still got the ball out to the receivers. And the thing is, it was a drop pass by one of the Eagles receivers that would have clinched them to basically almost win the game. But he dropped the wide open pass. So we listen, they gave us a gift too. I mean, they also gave us a gift on a kickoff. They kicked a field goal. Like they were up by 5. And then when they did a kickoff, they kicked it out of bounds, which made the last drive a whole lot easier. But thing is, you had 5. We gave you 6 chances. We gave the ball back to you. You don't lose. Like, it doesn't regardless who you have. Like, you have more talent. Even with your starting quarterback out, just the talent level. Your defense is like the top defense in the league. Like, one of the top, like top 2 at the most, at the least, really. So, your talent level is beyond us. You're better than us. Everybody knows that. So there's no excuses. Like, these Eagles fans were really upset. And like somebody said, for these Eagles fans really upset, that means they must be scared. They must know, like, we got a quarterback now. Yeah. Because it's like, we ain't on your level. But y'all were really mad. Because somebody's like, it's like y'all won a Super Bowl against us. And this, like somebody said, well, I guess that makes that 4 against your 1 then. If this is a Super Bowl, we got 4 Super Bowls to your 1. And like, it's like, yo, y'all, I mean, why are you upset? Like, why are you upset with us? Like, you should be upset with your team. Like I don't get that. Like you can say Jalen Hurts, it's not all you want. Like, but we didn't ever give an excuse. We never gave an excuse for our quarterback. Like the first time we played against them, our quarterback was kind of banged up still. But no one else gave an excuse. We had a chance to win. We still had a chance to win that game. Nobody gave an excuse like, oh, Jaden Daniels was healthy. We would have won. Nah, we just said, hey, they're the better team. Honestly, like most fans just said, we knew you were the better team. Like it's like that's no shit. Like we didn't expect to go to the playoffs this year. Not most people didn't expect us to go to the playoffs this year. Most fans didn't expect that. We just want to have a decent year to have the quarterback look like he's the future. Say he look like a quarterback we can keep. And we got better than that. So now we're not locked up for the playoffs as of this podcast. We are, but if we win this weekend, we got the Sunday night game against the Atlanta Falcons. If we win, we're in. So that's what we're rooting for right here. That's what I'm rooting for. That's what we're waiting for. Like just winning and to have 11 wins. We haven't had 11 wins. Damn, I don't know when the last time we had 11 wins. I think it's been like since the 91 season. But like, and we haven't had 10 wins at this point in the season in a very long, I think almost that same season too. It's been because we have had 10 wins before, but it's like we only got the 10th win at the last by the last game, the last game of the season. But yeah, it's amazing. Just how well this team has done, what this team has done, and like how they done it. It's like it's been such a great year. Ravens, they won that weekend also, blowing out. I forgot who they played that weekend, but they also played again because they played on Saturday.
Yeah.
Then they played up on a Wednesday, like a short week. Played a Wednesday because NFL has to have a Christmas Day game. They didn't have to do that, but they did. The Ravens. Well, before I get the Ravens game, the Chiefs and the Steelers played first. Chiefs beat up on the Steelers.
Yeah,
they beat them up. So that really helps the Ravens out with possibly winning the division. They win the next week, they're definitely going to win the division.
It was the Steelers that we beat up on the weekend before too on that Saturday.
Oh, the weekend. That's what it was. Yeah, that's right.
34-17.
So the Ravens they kicked their butts and then they kicked another playoff team, but and the Texans like 2 points.
Yeah.
Texans only got a safety and that was it. And the Ravens just slaughtered them. And it was a great halftime show with Beyonce.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty damn good. Even some guest singers up there. I know Post Malone. There was another dude. I don't know who he is though.
Yeah, Shane Boozy. He's got a popular like rap country song out right now.
Okay. I know. I'm sure he's famous because like these people are past my time. I know Post Malone though. I didn't know him. Because he was at the Game Awards for that
because he's a fan of Pokemon.
Murder for that murder circus thing that's in the Hunt game. But no, and also he played basketball, right? With on the Utah Jazz. Wasn't that him?
Did he? Is that
the postman? The postman?
Oh, yes. He also wrestled with Jay Leno at one point.
But no, I got a question though. Because his name's Post Malone.
Yeah.
Is he a Malone fan? Because Malone is the post.
Yeah, the postman.
His nickname's the Postman. Yeah. That's
he came after Malone, so he is Post Malone.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, because I don't really know. I mean, I know Post Malone now, but it was like maybe 5 or 6 years ago or something. That's when I first heard about him.
Yeah.
And the only reason I heard about him is because someone was making fun of somebody who was there was this kid who was talking about how old basketball was trash. Like all they had was like he was naming some players. He was saying like all they had was this like all Jordan could beat was these players. All he beat was Sucker Utah Jazz with Sean Stockton and Post Malone. He said Post Malone, and I was thinking like, oh, that's another type of nickname for Karl Malone. I never heard that. And then somebody said, then I said, oh, that's a rapper. I said, oh, he said Post. I said, wow, yeah, that shows that guy didn't know nothing about basketball. He called the damn man Post Malone. He called Karl Malone Post Malone.
All right, apparently his last name is Post, and while people think that it may be a reference to Karl Malone, he said that the Malone just came from a rap name generator, which doesn't surprise me for him.
So, rap name generator.
Yep.
And the rap they generated AI, they were thinking about Karl
That
Malone.
was pre-AI, Dominic. That was pre-AI. So that was just like, here's a slew of words, which is basically what this AI is anyway.
So, anyway, yeah, it was. I like the halftime show. It was pretty cool. But yeah, the those two games were a little blowout. I know somebody mentioned like, hey, maybe there would have been better games at least. I mean, possibly. Not to say if they were played a week, exactly a week later, instead of forcing this to happen. I don't know. I mean, maybe, but put like this. I don't know is this. They didn't have to have those games on Christmas Day, honestly. The NFL didn't have to do that.
Yeah, because I felt bad, because not only do the teams have to play, but then all the people that work in the stadiums and whatnot, you got them coming in on Christmas. Give them a break.
Oh no, they're all they're either all Jewish, Daniel, or
that's what it is.
They weren't Christians, Daniel. So it all worked out.
I guess that makes sense then. I'm glad they were able to get those people jobs.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but it's like why? And then it's like, come on, man. It's like this. You don't have to have. And then the sports day is usually NBA. And I'm not a big NBA guy, but still, it's like, either that. Or people can just be with their families and say fuck sports. I mean, because that's the only was really what it is. I don't have to watch football. I mean, a day I'm doing other things. I mean, doing other things with the family or something. Or it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Because the day before, nothing was going on. On Christmas Eve, there was no games of anything. Except for one bowl game. There was no college games. There was no NBA. And of course, there's no NFL, and then, just tell you how stupid people are, or how bad their memories are. Because somebody's like, there's nothing to ever play on Christmas Eve. It's yes, there is. There's always. I never had a day where I thought Christmas Eve was nothing. And then there's just people saying hey, so why are you complaining about? It's just be with your family. I said, well, that's what Christmas Day was for, right? Christmas Eve would be the day that. You can still be a fan, but look, Christmas Day is usually that's what that day is supposed to be reserved for. So how about you switch those games to Christmas Eve then, and then have that day have nothing? I was like, why does this day have? Because I was like, I'm not doing anything today. I'm doing stuff tomorrow, and I was looking for sports. I was like, damn, there's no freaking game. Well, I was like, well, let me check the. That was let me watch an NBA game, then a shitty ass NBA game. But then it's darn, they didn't even have games too. I say it's crazy, because not everybody played on Christmas Day, and my Wizards, they didn't put on Wizards on damn Christmas Day. What the hell did they do that for? It was that game, the team sucks. So I was they had to be playing today. I was like, man, y'all have nothing going on. I said, this sucks. And but yeah, NBA I didn't really pay attention to. I know there was some good games, but actually some people got hurt. Some stars got hurt that game. I know Luka got hurt. Embiid almost he got hurt again. He was rolling on his leg at the beginning of the game, but he did end up playing. So some people was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's gonna get hurt. He's he just came back. Yeah, it was it was a great week in sports. There was a Thursday night game that was such a shitty game. 6-3, Seattle beat the Bears and those awful fucking game. Damn. I just watched the last quarter because there was implication. I think if Seattle would have lost, I don't know if they would have locked the Russian up. It might have. It might would have. I'm not sure, but it would. Yeah, it would definitely would have helped. But yeah, the Bears, they just so inept. That home team, they definitely got to get some reworked. I don't know if the quarterback Caleb Williams, I think he's still all right. I just think the organization's just bad. So we'll see next year, basically, when he gets new coaches and stuff to see if he does better. So I'm not going to judge him on that. Me personally, I'm not, because I'm not really watching their games. And I'm not going to say he sucks. I have no idea. It could be just I mean, the way I see it, they got a lot of things to work out. They almost like where we were, like the Washington was, years. So there you go. Yeah. So any wrestling news? Oh yeah, there was a wrestler at the Houston game. What's the woman name? The
Liv Morgan.
champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liv Morgan. Yeah, she said she wasn't really kind of either team, but she would just be a Ravens fan. It's like,
Yep.
oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
The heel's a Ravens fan though, Dominic. Yeah, I mean it's all kind of building to the Netflix debut of Raw at this point. That's where
Hopefully the quality is good as the NFL.
Yeah.
'Cause Netflix did pretty good with it.
they did a fantastic job, and this is a big money deal for them. So I think they should be able to pull it off. They did a lot of advertising for it during the NFL games. So clearly it's a big deal to them. Clearly it's a big deal to WWE because we're getting, I think I mentioned it last week, but like WrestleMania level matches, basically. You're getting Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns. I mean, Roman Reigns being on any show is a big deal. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. So they're doing big things. Also, I think Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan is going to be on there too, which could have been a WrestleMania match. So yeah, and I would not be surprised if The Rock showed up for the show also. So yeah, there's going to be some big stuff. I don't know if I don't think it's the Raw that they announced it. Oh yeah, it's the Royal Rumble that they just announced Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for. Because they brought the Winged Eagle, like the old like Attitude Era championship belt back for Saturday night's main event, and Kevin Owens, despite being the heel currently, kind of got screwed out of winning that match. So he actually pile drove Cody Rhodes, which is like a banned move in WWE, and took the Winged Eagle belt. So now he's like doing this like real champion
The Winged
kind of
Eagle
thing.
belt? Is that like
Yeah.
an American belt or something like that?
It's the one that they used to use. It's like if you think of like the Stone Cold title when he was champion, not the Smoking Skull one, like the custom rock Stone Cold one, but like the one they had at that time. It's called the Winged Eagle because it's got like an eagle over the top of it, and then the sides kind of flare out a little bit with wings coming out of it. But everybody acts like that's like the pinnacle of title design. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it looks fine, and I like what they're doing with it with this whole Kevin Owens storyline thing. Yeah, so that should be good. AEW, I believe, has a pay-per-view actually tonight, World's End. And I'm not sure that I saw. Oh yeah, since we recorded, no, that was the previous week that I went to AEW. So it's been kind of interesting because they also have a streaming deal coming up now. So they're going to be streaming on Max on Wednesdays for Dynamite. But they didn't get a deal for Rampage, which is their Friday night show. So last night's episode was actually the last episode for the foreseeable future. And then they do still have the Saturday show Collision, which I'm not sure what's happening with that tonight because they have the pay-per-view tonight. But I'm not sure if that's getting streamed on Max or not. I haven't really seen one way or the other. But that should be a good show. The main event is going to be Jon Moxley, who's currently the champion, and doing like that whole takeover angle in a fatal 4-way versus Jay White, Hangman, Adam Page, and Orange Cassidy. I feel like there's going to be no title change there necessarily. So yeah, the whole Moxley as champion and kind of having this faction that's running roughshod over AEW it's so disconnected from the other things that are happening on the show, like as main events. It doesn't feel that effective. Like the guys that he's like outside of this match, the guys that he's involved himself with are like mid-card guys, and they haven't like brought anybody. It's not like the NWO where it's like, oh my goodness, this guy is turning on, WCW and joining this faction. Like, they haven't grown since this whole thing started a couple of months ago. And what's so weird is like the guys that he feuded with or was like having issues with initially, Daniel Garcia, Private Party, who's a tag team, those guys are champions now. And part of it was like Jon Moxley saying like, you guys need to toughen up in order to win the big one. And it's almost like these guys are champion. Like they should see that like that's what it took to get me to this level. Maybe they join this faction and you start to see the tide turn a little bit. But up till this point, there hasn't been any of that movement. And that coupled with the fact that they're doing the Continental Classic right now, which is just this like New Japan G1 tournament style thing where it's like everybody faces off against everybody and they do a points scale, a win gets you 3 points, and the person that has the most points are the two people, because they have two different leagues, a blue and an orange, or a blue and a gold. And then the winners of those face the losers of the other bracket, and the loser or the second place, the runner up. And then the winners of those two matches face each other for the actual Continental Classic title. But because they're doing that, and that's not really being affected by this whole like faction war thing, despite the fact that Claudio Castagnoli, who is part of this Death Riders faction, it's not really getting intermixed. So it feels very like separate things. And then you also have like Swerve Strickland, who is facing like Bobby Lashley. Like, they've got a thing going on that they're setting up, but like that stuff's also disconnected from this whole thing. So it doesn't necessarily feel like one cohesive show. And I think that's part of why it's not necessarily working right now. But I still like all those guys, and I want it to be better, but it's not quite at that level. So honestly, like, seeing a change here in the world title, I think would be interesting, just because, I mean, Jay White's a guy who was gigantic in New Japan. When everybody else left, like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and everything, he was the guy that really got a chance to step up as someone who was from outside of the country. He's from New Zealand, and seeing what he was able to do there, and then when they brought him into AEW, it's been kind of like they haven't really done a whole lot with him to showcase what he can do. And I'm hoping that as we get into 2025, this is the year where they actually take advantage of his talents. So yeah, that's what's going on with wrestling right now, Dominic.
All right. So I guess we get into, well, actually, I would say get into what we've been watching, but I'm not sure. Oh yeah, you watched something.
Yeah,
also, what you watch?
I did eventually. I finally got around to checking out Level Up. I just scrolled through to see like what games they had episodes related to, and I didn't really see anything that necessarily caught my attention. But because that Pac-Man game, Shadow Labyrinth, I think it's called, was announced at the Game Awards, and I saw some stuff about how it was related to this Level 1 or Level Up episode, I checked that out. This is a short thing. I don't know that any of these are like a full length episode, but this was like 15 minutes, I think. And yeah, this is basically a primer for that video game. You have this like just this kind of like human type creature waking up, and then this like weird Pac-Man orb just talking about like being hungry and telling him he needs to eat, and then he goes around and starts to eat things. So like I get where the concept of like dark Pac-Man is coming from with this video game now, and seemingly the character that you're playing as is the character that you see in this show. I thought it was interesting. I mean, it's well done, it looks good. But I really don't know that I'm motivated to watch many more of these episodes for games that I'm not necessarily interested in, or like
You're not a true gamer then.
well, like in the case of Concord, like that game's already dead, so I'm not sure. It really. I wonder if it would have helped them at all if this had come out before that game.
I don't think
came
so.
out.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I mean that game just. I guess it just lacked uniqueness, right?
I just don't know how popular this is.
Oh,
though,
yeah,
to do any of that.
But had they
anything
taken
this
this as like a marketing opportunity, maybe Sony pushed this a little harder. But
Maybe.
I just don't know what that game could have done to get players interested. If Sony saw that within a week of that game coming out, it was going to die. Yeah, that's still just such a wild situation. Yeah, so I thought this was fine. If you have Amazon Prime, also like I didn't get like a commercial, interruption, and I wonder if that's just because it's a shorter episode or something. Because that was part of what would put me off on like even checking it out, because I'm more apprehensive to watch anything on Amazon Prime than I am on anything else, just because of dealing with the commercial aspect of it. I did find it funny when I launched the football game on Netflix. It was like, your account grants you access to live streams supported by ads. And I'm like, yay. I get the privilege of watching ads, because I wondered how that was going to go. So, yeah, it was fine. I'm sure some of those other ones are at least visually very impressive. So there's something there for people, but it didn't seem like there's too much depth to it.
All right. So I guess we get to what we were playing. So I'm just still been playing Metaphor. I think I'm closer to the end now. Mm-hmm. It feels like it. Like it's like the way things are going. But even though there still seems some powers that I haven't unlocked yet, even though I did read like some things don't unlock till later in the game. I wonder if there's a carryover, because I'm like, darn, that's kind of disappointing, because it's not like I can use them much then, if that's the case. So I'm thinking like maybe there's more to the game that maybe it feels like I'm close to the end, but there's something that happens that's more that happens. Because I didn't really look up to see, like I haven't looked at any guides, so I don't know how far I am. So I'm just hoping like, okay, maybe there's a little bit more, because I just like, there's some things I haven't done yet, even as side quests that I'm not able to do, because it's not saying like I can't do this, because something I know I didn't finish, and the story the story has stopped right there, because like I can't progress until I guess more of the game. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's more game than I think it is. I wonder how much more though. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely I'm past the halfway point. Because quite a few people died now. So it's like, yeah, okay, we're getting there. But overall, this game, yeah, it's really good. I like the story theme. It really, I'm definitely getting to the point of really unlocking the mystery behind this world. Just seeing everything. And it was a good twist in the game that happened. Gameplay wise, I love how the different archetypes, like even the new ones that just unlocked now, how they interact with each other. It's just so much variety into that it makes battles, like the battles are just so fun. Like I actually like really fighting. Like I'm actually disappointed that I'm at the point where like I have to force the fight instead of like, because sometimes like early on in the game, or it all depends how powerful you are, you can hit the enemy, you might stun them, like stun them and then get into the real battle, because like you can either just kill the enemies there without having to go into fight, which is a good thing. I like that some games are doing that now, where hey, I don't feel like going into the regular battle system. Can I just kill these enemies on screen so that I can just hurry up and get through? And yeah, you can. Like if you're strong enough, you can kill them there. or you can at least stun them. Like you can put down their health a little bit until you go to the actual battle mode. But now I've gotten so powerful where if I hit them, I'll kill them. So it's like, but you can't just start a battle. You just won't have an advantage. But sometimes I just want to start a battle because I want to fight, because I want to try these new powers out. It's like, oh man, I'm killing these guys in like one hits outside of battles. But when I get into battle, it doesn't take one hit. Unless I'm using like a powerful magic or something. It takes probably a couple hits because I am still powerful. But some bosses though, like, because I do have it on hard, even though I cheated. I put like quick levels and stuff like that. But the bosses on hard mode, when I get to they are still tougher, and they still use the abilities that can kind of hurt me. So I know, like, darn. So if I was playing like normal, this would be even freaking harder. And it's like I can imagine how hard this will be then, because I'm actually probably level up faster than I'm supposed to. But yeah, man, this game is fun. Like I really enjoy this game. Like now I really see, like I said before, I see why people nominate it for their game of the year, and why they think it's one of the best RPGs out for this year. And I'll see after I finish, like, how do I put this against Persona 5? I mean, it's up there. The main character talks, but it doesn't seem like he had to talk, because he doesn't say much. Like, when you pick what he says, he doesn't really go into depth.
No,
he
really.
just kind of just says what you pick. Just It's almost like it could have just been like Persona, where he's talking, but you don't hear him say nothing. Like you pick what he says, he does a motion like he's talking, and then he still feels like a silent protagonist without being one. To the point, I was like, why?
It's the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, I was like, why did they even have him talking? Like, it doesn't see any point or whatever. But anyway, yeah. Great game. So what you been playing?
I've went back to Astrobot. I platinumed that. I kind of cleaned up some of the levels that I hadn't unlocked yet, and just gotten the trophies that I hadn't gotten. I think that's a good game to platinum, because most of the trophies you kind of get naturally through playing the game. There were only a couple that I had to go online and kind of check out and see what the qualifications were to actually make that happen. This game is awesome in that it is obviously a pretty easy game to play, but they know when to sprinkle in these like more challenging things to give people with more advanced skills, even more advanced than me, the ability to challenge themselves using the physics of this game, because they're so well done. And once you unlock kind of all the bots and everything, there is one last challenge level that is kind of a marathon. It's a bit on the harsh side, because like the other challenge levels, they're relatively short, so there aren't any checkpoints to them. And this one, you just have to like keep going and keep going. I think I started playing it one night, I think Christmas Eve night, I think. And I probably, or was it the weekend before? Either way, the night before I started playing it, and then I got like 20 or so runs in and just couldn't get it. And then the next morning I did, another 10 or 15 or something like that, and I finally got it. But that kind of stuff I appreciate, and it wasn't impossible, but it was challenging. But it was also totally, not necessary to do. So, if you wanted to beat that game as someone who wasn't as capable, you can absolutely do that. They also added, I think it was announced not necessarily at the Game Awards, I can't remember, but around that time, that they were doing a holiday level. Played that. That's pretty cool. It's kind of this open area that lets you utilize all the different power-ups from the game. to collect these gifts and then unlock a couple more Astrobots. And then I played the couple of speedrun levels that I hadn't yet. It was kind of disappointing. I'm glad I didn't play them like each week as they came out, because I think the last one that they released is the monkey backpack one, which uses the triggers to grab and then the motion controls to move like left and right. And that's not great for a speed run type level. It's fine when you're not worried too much about like getting through a level quickly, but I admittedly had to turn off the motion controls to get through that level quick enough to get both of the Astrobots there. There's also four extra Astrobots that if you go back to Astro's Playroom, the game that came with the PS5, there's mysteries in there now for you to solve that then unlocks four extra bots in the in Astrobot. That stuff was I need to look it up because I was just following guides online, admittedly. I couldn't figure out if the stuff in Astro's Playroom actually made sense, like if they had clues that led you to these points, because it didn't really seem like it. And I'm trying to figure out like how you would figure this stuff out without someone just telling you like this is how you do it, because it all seemed kind of obtuse. It's like, all right, you see this thing and you just stand here for 5 seconds on the edge of this random ledge, and then this thing pops up with a symbol on it, and then you have to like go through the level and find this symbol again. But it gives you no indication of like what area that symbol is in or anything like that. So that stuff was a little kind of and going back to that game, you can definitely see like the level of polish difference between Astro's Playroom and the new Astrobot game. And I think that was, it was surprisingly stark. I mean, that game is still very good up until this game. It was probably my favorite experience on the PS5. I think I've talked about that in the past. But this is definitely a step up in quality over that, which makes sense. It's, it's a full game as opposed to kind of a demo showcase for the PlayStation 5. But Playroom also did a great job with that. Also, mostly just been playing a lot of Balatro on my phone. I finally actually beat a run. Because it's not like a roguelike, which I kind of wish it was, where like each run lets you get a new power up that helped make future runs easier. You do unlock new jokers and stuff like that, but they still come up relatively randomly. I mean, there are different, I forget what they're called. But like you can type in a code and pull up like a specific version or a specific run that someone else has played. And for my winning run, it feels like a lot of it was just kind of luck, like luck of the draw. It's like, okay, I got these jokers and they stack so well. And then I also didn't run up against, a ridiculous anti-boss. Because at the end of each, like 3 sets of games, there's 8 antes, and then each of those antes is made up of 3 sets of games. And the last one is like a boss battle, and there's some kind of qualification there. It's either, hey, in this, all of your heart cards are debuffed, or in this one, it's going to be, in this one, the score is just going to be super ridiculous. And I think I just got lucky in that most of them were relatively forgiving. And then when you beat the run, you can actually go into an endless mode. And then the first anti-boss that I fought in that endless one was like, you have to score 100,000 points. And I was like, well, I thought I was cool getting like 30,000 points. So this is not going to happen for me. And I just got my butt kicked. Saw this video on Reddit yesterday, though, of this woman playing, and she just got like infinitum points. Like, it was ridiculous. I don't understand what allows you to get to that point yet. But I'm having a great time with this game. Even as a phone game, it is keeping me relatively engaged. I'm not playing like at all hours of the day, but I like to jump on and play like a game or two a day when I get home and just like, oh, how far can I go? Because a lot of times it's not very far. So that's why I'm able to get like 2 or 3 games in occasionally. But yeah, that game it's just so well designed. It is very creative. It's very cool. Been liking it a lot.
Man.
Yeah, I needed to have like cross progression though. Like, I would like to occasionally play it on my computer, and for it to not have cross progression, I'm kind of, disappointed by that.
Yeah, that is disappointing.
Yeah, it's on their roadmap allegedly, but I think it's like we might do this.
There, make that the next destination. Take a plane there instead of driving.
Get some more help. Don't be like the Stardew Valley guy and just work on the same thing for the rest of your life. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
All right. So we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. So now we have a special flashback segment because we did all the games that came out at the end of the year. And since we're getting close to the end of the year, we're going to do, just like we did past years, like we go through like what's the past top like award, like game, the award shows that happened and like what games won in those 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and even 30 years. If it, maybe further that if there is any. But also, I want to go through. We do a year review, usually like the year of, but we're going to do that for next week. But I'm going to do like basically almost like a year review of what happened in the past, like the last 10 years and 20 and 30 years. So I'm going to start going back to 10 years ago, like some of the big events that have happened in 2014, and starting with. And they have up here January. I'm getting this from Wikipedia here, so it might not be totally accurate. So whatever.
I changed all these right before we started recording.
All right. So now, like this is in January. The biggest event was Atari emerges from bankruptcy and plans to enter the social casino market. So yeah, there we go.
Atari Hotels, baby.
Also, they say January. They actually have a specific date for this one, the 6th. 2K Games discontinued their MLB 2K series.
Oh, that is the worst thing to happen on January 6th ever.
Yep. January 7th, we have PlayStation Now. A cloud streaming from Sony Computer Entertainment was announced 10 years ago. And now it's kind of changed into like 3 tiers and service. But this is the cloud streaming service. This is their big one. They were there first. But they really didn't expand much on it and progress. I mean, they have expanded more now, but like it's been a while. I mean, Game Pass came out and has done really great. I mean, until for recently, like with the whole price hike thing. But PlayStation Now, they started out. It was interesting. I mean, it was a cool concept initially, but they didn't really go all in on it. Like being just like how Sony does sometimes with their different either accessories or in this case like services. Like they seem to like start off like really great, but then they just kind of falter. Like they kind of take a step back. I will say that I think Game Pass really helped them to continue with this because I almost feel like I don't know how much. I'm curious if there was no Xbox Game Pass, would this end up being an in-home situation where they just said like, we just stop, or just be the same? They'll just be like, we have PlayStation Now and we still got things going, but we're not really investing in getting a whole lot of new games and stuff like that. I think Game Pass did push them a bit on it, because it seemed like they should be ahead of Game Pass, really. But I guess because of the sales of Xbox, man, they didn't have to, and that's why you need competition. You got anything you want to say about that?
Nah.
I don't want to be on the talking here. So I guess you had nothing
Yeah,
to say.
sorry, no, not on. Not right now.
Because you didn't say no. You didn't say no.
I did say no. It just didn't pick up, I guess.
Anyway, Steam Dev. 15th and 16th. They said Steam Dev Days held in Seattle, Washington. Is that really is this the first time that happened? Because I don't know.
It's a big event every year, Dominic.
Yeah.
E3's gone. This is all we've got.
Yeah. 10 years ago, Microsoft acquired Gears of War franchise for Epic Games.
And then they proceeded to kill it, Dominic.
Now we're in February. Double Helix was acquired by Amazon.com.
And then they proceeded to kill it.
Yeah. On the 18th of February, you have Irrational Games. The creator of BioShock series was shut down.
And then they proceeded. Oh, wait, no, they just died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on with BioShock, man? Like, we were hearing rumors that they were making another one. I mean, they've been saying they were making
who was doing it?
New one for a while. Who was it? It was like somebody, they spun it out of Irrational, obviously, because that's dead.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Ken Levine, because he's doing the Judas thing with Ghost Story Games, I think it was. I forget what studio they were saying.
Because I'm saying Judas is like, oh shit, what's going on here? Is some you go on somebody's back or something like that. But Darren, yeah, I honestly, I did not know Irrational. I forgot. I totally forgot.
Yeah, I forgot too that they killed it, which I mean makes sense because like Ken Levine left and like what is that? But at the same time, it's almost like the Tango Gameworks thing. It's like that studio kind of has it's not just what's his face that left, was that Mikami? It's not just him. Like there's a name there now associated with games that they have released. Like why wouldn't you keep that alive even if he's not around? Like that's just another brand that like is relatively positive.
Brand, man.
Yeah.
Like I just for that just to be like done. I mean, I just want to know, like, what's the sale? Like, well, what was the cost? Because I thought that sales wise, I would think like the last one was pretty good. Like, what was the cost of it though? Like that was like they cost too much that you couldn't get it back. Because I mean, we know that it was delayed, but then again, like, what shit, man? What games aren't delayed these days? I mean, even those days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was delayed, but I wonder was it like the cost was just too much even for the sales? Because it just seemed like. Two, I mean, I thought 2 was going to be better. It actually turned out to be better than, even though they weren't the ones who did it, but turned out to be all right. I mean, just that brand though, like for just like not to have a new game out now, at least like one other BioShock from Infinite to now. It seems weird that 2K has not done that.
Yeah.
Even if it turned out bad, just like you it hasn't been one. There hasn't been one.
Yeah,
really.
Just cash in on that name.
Yeah, because you already you cash in on a name basically with BioShock 2. You didn't use a rational to make that game, but it turned out to be okay.
Yeah.
It turned out to be okay, an okay game actually, and even although some people would say like the DLC was even better, but yeah, man, I just that's so like that brand like that's like what Mass Effect is trying to come back, but we got like Mass Effect, BioShock's one of it. I was just saying other brands like that's just been lost.
Yeah,
like
even Dragon Age up until just this year.
Yeah, up to recent
felt like exactly. It was. We kept hearing it was in development, just like we keep hearing that BioShock is. We keep hearing that the Mass Effect is, but yeah, for it to finally exist again. There's so many franchises. I mean, even Dead Space, there's now reporting that the lead guy had said, "Hey, let me make Dead Space 4." And EA's like, "No, thank you." Like up until that remake, that franchise was dead.
Yeah. And then Ubisoft with Splinter Cell. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's just it's a lot.
These money making brands that you just somehow just let go to to the ether. And it's Cloud Chamber that's working on the new BioShock game, which is a new studio that includes several members that were part of the original BioShock game and studio, and also is led by Kelly Gilroy, who is a former executive producer at Firaxis Games.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to March. So we have, I don't want to say that one. That's not what we're saying. Nope, that's not what we're saying. Okay, here we go. Project Morpheus, virtual reality initiative from Sony Computer Entertainment.
Oh, wow.
For the PlayStation 4 is announced.
Yeah.
And yes, and they do. We end up getting the VR for PlayStation 4 on the 25th of March.
All those games are trapped there.
25th of March, Oculus VR was acquired by Facebook for $2 billion. And on the 20, what's this? This is not worth mentioning either. Okay, so now we got April. Anything mentioned April 2014? Nope. How about May? Here we go. Nintendo discontinues the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection servers for the Wii and the Nintendo DS games. So, yep, you cannot play against. I guess you can't play Mario Kart.
Nope.
Whatever number it was on the Wii. What was the Wii? 6? And then Nintendo DS was well they called it just Wii, right? It was called Mario Kart Wii, but that was considered 6 because 7 was DS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yep.
Because that stuff was all based on like GameSpy architecture or something like that, I think.
And now the DS one, could you still do a link though? I guess.
You know what? I'm not totally sure.
Like, was there a link with that? Like, could you?
Yeah,
like, just,
direct. I'm sure there was. There had to have been.
Yeah. Electronic Arts on the 29th shut down Mythic Entertainment. I'm trying to think what the Mythic Entertainment. What games did they make here? They were formerly BioWare Mythic. I don't even remember that. They were in Fairfax, Virginia.
Huh.
Let's see here. They did Aliens Online, Darkness Falls, The Crusade, ID4 Online, Dark Age of Camelot, Warhammer Online, Age of Reckoning. I heard of that.
Yeah. That's pretty much the only one.
That game was
starting to make sense.
December 18th. Yeah. Before that was Imperator Online. What the? I ain't never heard of that. That was a Warhammer thing too, I think. Oh no, it wasn't a Warhammer thing. It said Mark announced that he acquired the Warhammer game. He had canceled this one and said, "Oh, this game is canceled. The production was canceled. It never even came online." Okay. But yeah, that's. Oh, they done some like, I guess some DLC or something. It's like Ultima Online, Stygian Abyss. A lot of Dark Age. I heard of Dark Age of Camelot before. I heard of them. But yeah, they did that. And what did I do? Reopen. All right. Let me back up here. Get back here. So was that it for wherever month I was at? Yep, that was it for May. So now we're in June. Nintendo announces their new president. Satoru Iwata won't attend E3 due to medical issues. Oh, and I said new president. I mean, they announced that their president, because I was about to say, it's like, he didn't start 10 years ago. Satoru Iwata won't attend because of medical issues. And he passed away, right?
A year later, yeah.
A year later. So, man, yeah. That said, also there was still E3. E3 was still a thing back then.
Yeah.
Happened 10 through the 12th at the Los Angeles Convention Center.
Not for long.
Then you have Nordic Games acquired the publishing label of THQ.
So they could pretend to be THQ again.
Then you have, I don't know what the heck is that. No, that's not worth mentioning. Oh, yes, Google releases the Google Cardboard, a VR accessory designed for smartphones.
I had one of those. It was kind of cool.
Yep. Yeah, you did. Yep.
It works surprisingly well for a piece of cardboard and a magnet, I gotta say.
Here we go. Crytek's IPs, The Homefront, The Revolution was acquired by Koch Media. Crytek UK, formerly Free Radical Design, and Crytek USA was shut down.
And so it begins.
Yeah. Darn, Free Radical Design. I remember they split. They were former Rare guys. They did the Time Splitters, and like he was like, "Oh, these games are great." I was confused because I didn't know how great they were. I thought I didn't like them. I didn't like the first two games. I liked the third one. But yeah, so they're finally going. Deep Silver set up a subsidiary known as Deep Silver Dam Buster.
I remember them. I don't remember them releasing anything though.
And Electronic Arts shut down more than 50 multiplayer games.
Oh, of course, they're the ones that developed Homefront: The Revolution, so that's it. But also Dead Island too. So like they've done okay.
Yeah. Deep Silver, yes. Yeah.
They're still around.
I don't know. They say they shut down more than 50 bucks, but I guess are these like smaller games that we just don't, that they publish Electronic Arts we just don't really pay attention to? Like what was one of the 50 games? Was there like any known games? I don't have no context with this.
Yeah.
Let me click.
So like, here's the old Madden games that we're no longer gonna let you play online.
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I was wondering. Like, if there's anything like that. All right. So July, we got Tony Hawk Pro Skaters creator Neversoft was merged into Infinity Ward, for they can make Call of Duty skateboarding.
Yeah.
Damn
you, EA.
All right. We got nothing. That's not worth mentioning.
Or never
29th.
Activision.
The NVIDIA Shield tablet is released in North America. That was the thing I kind of wanted. This was just kind of like an early version of what we have for like Steam Deckish kind of thing. It was like a portable, it was this portable gaming device that uses Android compared to the device that uses Android. Compared to the Shield Portable, the controller is not permanently connected. Okay, so this ain't the same thing.
This was like the evolution to that one with the little flip up screen.
That was the one I really wanted. All right. Also, we got here Airtight Games was shut down approximately 1 month after the release of Murdered Soul Suspect. Darn. Just basically that's one of your favorite games.
Yep. Loved it.
Yeah. It's like you played it.
I did play some of it, yeah. It's free on Xbox at one point. It was
All right. So August, what we got? Activision revived the brand of Sierra Entertainment. Really? Good for them. I don't know what they did with it though.
It was a new load runner, Dominic.
Actually, for me, when I think of Sierra, because it's a game I played as a little kid. It was a learning game. It was called I think it's called Pepper's Adventures. Yeah, I was gonna say Pepper Ann, but I think it's called Pepper's Adventures. That it never got a sequel though, because it ended with a cliffhanger too. But it's about her going to the past, and she went back into like Ben Franklin time and stuff, and you learn things of that. And then, but the game ended, and it's like, oh, continuation. Say, hey, continue in for the next adventure. Never came, Daniel. I was so disappointed. Man.
Yeah, Pepper's Adventures in Time came out in 1993.
Yeah, she got her dog, man. I forgot his name, but he used to bite everybody's butt, and I used to thought that was funny. But yeah, man, that was, oh man, I used to love playing that game and so mad. I always just hope like, oh, maybe this time if I beat it, there'll be a continuation. I can play the sequel somehow. like it'll magically come. All right. What we got here? Electronic Arts launched a subscription video game service called EA Access for the Xbox One. Oh wow, this is the first
jeez.
start of the EA Access, which is now is EA Play. All right. Let's see what else here. These are just events. Oh, here we go. Twitch was acquired by Amazon.com for $970 million.
Jeez.
It was made better, Daniel. It's like, man, we get so many ads up there, even with the ad blocker.
Yeah.
This is
No comment.
yeah. Also, let me see here we go. The Gamergate controversy came to public attention due to the introduction of Gamergate hashtag.
That was just 10 years ago, but also that was 10 years ago. Jeez.
Yeah. It was the beginning, Daniel. The beginning of the woke war.
In a lot of ways, I feel like it really was. It was like the real weaponization of that stuff began then, and from there it's just been.
The culture war began.
Yeah.
All right, so now also Nintendo announced the Nintendo 3DS XL. Yes, some Nintendo for us big people. We finally get it. Yes. All right. I think that's it for August. That's worth mentioning. We also have here. Let's see. What's September? Naughty Dog celebrated its 30th anniversary, even though we only know about 20 years worth of games with them. So yeah. Because it's funny they're 30 years old from there, but the only games I knew was Crash Bandicoot, and that was not 30 years old.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got here? Nope. Ubisoft Reflections. This is in October. Formerly known as Reflections Interactive, celebrated its 30th anniversary. Okay, I don't even know if Ubisoft Reflections still exists. I mean, if they do, I don't hear nothing about them. It said the company works on AAA games in close cooperation with sister studio Ubisoft Leamington. Okay. There you go. All right. There's a lot of expos and stuff that's always announced. Okay, you got the 2014 League of Legends World Championship held at Seoul World Cup Stadium. Okay, so now we're in November. Still just like stuff, PAX Australia happened. Here we go. Microsoft Studios acquired Minecraft.
Crazy.
For $2.5 billion from Mojang. And then that guy got that big house. And I remember he had a party and he had celebrities there.
And then he had no friends after that.
That's about to say. Yeah, like he had those friends, then they left. He realized, they weren't my real friends, and he cried. Yeah. That's why I imagined that. That's why I imagined in my mind. That's what happened.
And then he went on the internet and raged.
All right. What we got here? Some more conventions and blah blah blah. So now we're in December. 2K Games announced a new subsidiary, Hangar 13. I heard of them.
Yeah, they're the ones that did the Mafia down in the south. And then they got shut down.
Okay, so they're gone, but they were announced then. Okay, the Game Awards was in Las Vegas in 2014. Also, here we go. Ralph H. Baer, credited as the creator of Magnavox Odyssey, died at the age of 92. The age of 92.
Not the Odyssey creator.
Life. Yeah. The Magnavox. Yeah. Also, the PlayStation Experience. Remember that?
I
was held at the Venetian Las Vegas in Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, yeah. So the PlayStation Experience was happening. I don't know if that was the last year for it. But
I wonder
yeah, I
if this
remember
was
that.
the year that the big games were announced, or if this was, let's see, 2014, Destiny, Persona 5. Of course, they don't have this in like importance order. Just want to see like what did they announce that year? What was the big thing? Was this when they came out and was like Final Fantasy's coming back in 20 years?
All right, so now we're going to 2004, 20 years ago, and we are looking. I'm looking to see what the big announcements were. All right, so there. Here we go. They do it a little differently in this Wikipedia page. There was a Lifetime Achievement Award. Wired's Vaporware Awards gives its first Lifetime Achievement Award to the recurring winner, Duke Nukem Forever.
That's top vaporware, all right.
Yeah.
Especially in 2004. Jeez.
Yeah, darn. If I didn't know, man, that it finally came out, Daniel, and
Yeah.
everybody was happy. Everybody loved it. All right. All right, February 26th, Castle Wolfenstein. The creator, Silas Warner, dies at age 54. No, he didn't see the greatness it became.
No, he didn't.
Again.
Maybe he
Or
was the
may-
reason that was holding it back. That's an awful
It's like,
thing
they,
to say.
it's like he would have hated. He maybe he would have hated it. He'd be like, "Oh, this woke piece of shit." It's like, I don't know. It's like I'm not gonna do that to him. But yeah, 54, darn, that's pretty young.
Yeah.
March 4th, that was February 26th. The first one was January 20th, February 26th. They actually got exact dates up here. March 4th, Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences hosts the 7th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards, and they induct Peter Molyneux into the AIAS Hall of Fame. Like, I don't know if that's the you're supposed to pronounce it as AIAS or is that
Yeah, it's
just
probably
abbreviation?
AIAS because it's the
Okay.
Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So Peter Molyneux was in there, and then
That phony.
they take him out. Yeah, then they take him out. though. He's not in there anymore because of him never putting out Milo.
He robbed us, Dom.
And this is 2004. So this is he only put out, like, for me,
was
two
gonna say,
notable
like,
games,
Black and White,
Black and White,
yeah.
and Fable. That's the only two games that's really came out. I mean, they were good. I mean, Fable was, for me, a little disappointing because I thought I wanted more. But yeah. All right. So now, Game Developers Conference hosts the annual Game Developers Choice Awards and Gamma. Okay, so there's no big announcement for that. Never mind. So, okay, what's it say? May 11th, Nintendo officially announces its Revolution console, which was later named the Wii.
I remember I was reminded of, like, with all these Switch 2 leaks and stuff, and somebody had mentioned the Nintendo On, which was a render that some fan made of the Revolution at that time, and man, that thing looked awesome. I was so excited about that, even though everybody
I remember
was like
Revolution.
unsure if it was real or not.
It was the Game Informer magazine cover, and because that's what it showed off the what's the sword Wii game, Red Steel.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was announced. Yeah, with that. All right. Where are we at here? We are at May 11th through 13th. Okay, that's just E3 happened. That's when E3 was in May. Yeah, I remember that. August 1st, a viral portion of the Street Fighter 3 Third Strike match takes place during the EVO 2004 tournament. On August 3rd, Doom 3 was released, restarting the Breakthrough franchise and featured complex graphics features such as unified lighting and shattering, real-time, fully dynamic per pixel lighting, and stencil shattering. The game became its best-selling game to date.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I did not know that. But I guess because the other ones, they were all stolen. The Doom. They sold well, but then
No, I just played the shareware version.
October 12th, EA Sports launches the multi-format FIFA Football 2005. It is the last major title to be released for the original PlayStation console. Wow, there you go. They finally said, "You got okay, people. You got to upgrade now." November, Counter Strike, Source, and Half Life 2 are officially released on PC around the world, bringing in a new era of the first person shooter genre of the video games with advanced graphics and physics. Yep, that was awesome. November 5th, Nobuo Uematsu resigns from Square Enix and becomes a freelancer, starting his own business called Smile Please Co.
Oh, he's a fan of Jeb Bush.
And December 14th, you had this, the Video Game Awards. This is what they used to be, despite Video Game Awards, baby. And I think back, I don't know if it was this year, but man, it had one of those years, and that's when they're like, okay, we gotta do something because we can't have this football game just winning, which I think is not fair. I was like, well, hey, if this is what the people want, this is what the people want.
Never trust people, Dominic.
Nah, yeah. Then they start down and do electoral college shit with the Game Awards, Daniel.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So that's 2004 for no. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, I think there's more. Oh yeah, some business stuff. Okay, here we go. They separate to business announcements. Okay, January 12th, Ubisoft acquires TWAC or TWAC. I don't know what that is.
They got some of that Haktua coin.
Yeah. But put it like this, they must not be that important because I can't click on them. So, Electronic Arts consolidates, rolls most of Maxis and all of Origin Systems into its Redwood Shores, California HQ. Oh, so that's where Origin name come from. Yeah, because what was EA Origin? Was that the online?
Isn't
place?
That's still there?
It's a store.
Yeah,
that
still
was the store, right?
Their launcher.
Oh, yeah. They still call it Origin? It's not called EA Play? I thought it was called EA Play.
No, I'm pretty sure it's called Origin because it still sometimes launches alongside my PC. Or maybe it's just EA now. Maybe it doesn't even have.
I was about to say, I don't remember.
Let's launch it and see. Yeah. It just says EA. It doesn't have any sort of nomenclature with it.
I'm about to say, because that's a bad name, because that was so horrible that I think they had to. They had to KFC that shit. Yes. Actually, why did Kentucky Fried Chicken change? What, they got some poison chickens or something?
Because it turned out it wasn't actually fried. It's been baked this entire time.
All right. Let me see where March. Okay, where am I here? Oh, March. Okay, in March, Microsoft announces XNA. Oh yeah, XNA, the successor to DirectX, as a default API for the Longhorn and Xenon. Yes, that's a lot of computer terms. I've seen these words. I have seen these words. But okay. DirectX. It's funny. That's the successor to DirectX. Even though I see DirectX still.
Yep.
All the time. I actually see that still more than X and A. All right. April 6th, Midway Games acquires Surreal Software. I know Surreal Software. They did the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, the Suffering, and Draken series. You remember Draken?
I vaguely remember.
That was the bad dragon game.
I don't know, Dominic. You can't just say that. There are a lot of bad dragon games. Don't forget
actually,
Lair.
Yeah, look at that cover. Oh my god. Oh, and it's a woman on the dragon. Boo, woman, boo. Unless she got some big boobies, she's good. I don't think they're big enough. Boo. Sorry. I mean, it's an awful cover though. It's very boring. Drake and the Ancient Gates. I think this is like the sequel to the first one. Actually, let me see what the Metacritic score. Wow, this Wikipedia page is pretty bad. Reception 78 out of 100 on Metacritic. So okay, that's not really bad. All right, I'll take that back. I don't want to disrespect this game. They did The Suffering. The Suffering? But it did 2 of them. So I guess it did okay. I don't know how reviewed. Anyway, where we at here? Well, Midway Games doesn't exist anymore, so you know that. That's all. T1, a South Korean esports organization, is founded. Okay. And it's all
Sounds like
fixed.
one I've heard of before, I think.
It's all fixed, and only South Koreans win. Sammy Corporation buys a controlling share in Sega Corporation at a cost of $1.1 billion, creating the new company, Sega Sammy Holdings, one of the biggest video game companies in the world. Also, in July, that was May, I'm sorry, I'm not even really saying the dates. I don't think it matters. It's all happened this year. I mean 2004. All happened in 2004. Square Enix restructures executive branches around the world. I don't know what that means. They don't really go into detail with that.
Means they fired a bunch of people.
Yeah. Or a bunch of people committed seppuku, something like that. But that's what I always imagine. I imagine they do that. I imagine like somebody with somebody's failure, they just put a knife on their desk and they say, you know what to do. September 1st, Acclaim declares bankruptcy and closes its doors. No! That's the first of well, not the first, but it's one of those old companies that's been around, my childhood that it shut down, man. I mean, Acclaim, I associate that with Turok and others. I can't really, there's a lot of games. It's a lot of games. I mean, this is the first game I can think of
Extreme
right
G,
now.
Dominic.
Because kind of get, the 90s, I get mixed up. It was a lot of companies. You got that company that was a B on there. I forgot what they were called. Hudson.
Hudson.
It's just a lot of companies there, so I don't remember everything that is. Like Midway, I think of that driving game, I forget. But of course, the Mortal Kombat, they were Midway, before they changed. Oh, well, speaking of Midway, I told Midway, they're still existing. They're holding out in 2004. Acquires Inevitable Entertainment and renames it Midway Studios Austin. Look, they're growing before they shut down. Midway Games also acquired developer, Paradox Development. Which I want to know, is that the same thing as Paradox Games? Did they change their name? Or is that just a coincidence with Paradox? Maybe it's a coincidence. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's just coincidence. But they done some notable games though. They worked on the X-Men Mutant Academy game.
Backyard Wrestling.
Yeah.
TNA Impact.
They did X Dimensions. X-Men. They Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks for the Xbox version anyway. Oh, no, they've been both versions. I'm sorry. There was no GameCube version of Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Was Nintendo not allowed to have Mortal Kombat anymore?
No, they just weren't allowed to have Shaolins.
Oh, okay.
They don't like monks.
Yeah, because they did have. Didn't they have the Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, they had Deadly Alliance and all that stuff.
I wonder, why did they have Shaolin Monks then?
Because they knew it was a shitty game.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's the reason. All right, whatever. All right, so December 13th, Electronic Arts purchases a 5-year exclusive agreement for the rights to NFL. Yeah, we mentioned this before, which includes NFL teams, stadiums, and players for the use of EA's football games. Also, Electronic Arts purchased a 20% stake in Ubisoft. The purchase at the time was considered hostile by Ubisoft. Do they still have a stake in them? I wonder.
That's a good question. I also feel like Ubisoft takes a lot of things as hostile.
Yeah, I mean, somebody who's trying to get them now? Who was it? We mentioned?
I don't know if it was somebody trying to get them or if they were actually trying to get somebody to Tencent, I think. Yeah.
Tencent? Okay.
But they were like, we want control. And it's like, but we're giving you all this money. I think we should probably get to make some of these decisions. And they're like, no, we want to make the decisions. So yeah, well, I think Ubisoft just takes everything as hostile.
Whatever, man. They're gonna get. But look, you see what's going on in France, man, with their economy and shit, man. They like.
You better get back up on stage and dance with the panda bear.
All right. So yeah, that's the last thing for 2004. So now we go back to 1994. Let's hope this Wikipedia page actually has something for there. They did a good job with this. Okay, they did. Here's the events. Not really. Yeah, some dates are here. Not all dates though. Nintendo proclaims 1994 the year of the cartridge. I'm trying to think why because CDs were coming up, and it was like, no, cartridges are still a thing, people.
I mean, what year did the PlayStation launch? Was that
96, 95.
Okay.
Actually, Japan. What did you walk to Japan? I know in the U.S. is 95.
Yeah. They were probably like, oh, we were going to make a CD console, but that didn't work out. So this is the year of the cartridge.
Year of the cartridge. Nintendo Australia, the Australian subsidiary of Nintendo, I didn't even know there was one, established an open Hirashi Yumauchi and effectively ends Mattel's Australia's distribution of Nintendo products throughout Australia. Oh man, they took out Mattel. So now we got the Down Under. All right. So Project Reality is renamed Nintendo Ultra 64. The console's design is revealed to be to the public for the first time in spring 1994.
I don't know, Dominic. I'm starting to realize they love a spring reveal. So, like, let's do it. Give me the Switch too, please.
So this reveal it and then the Switch 2 comes out later that year?
Fall. With that, I mean, obviously it didn't come out until Christmas time, but I think the Switch 2 is coming a lot sooner. It's got to be.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was thinking. So I was like, a reveal in spring, then what is a launch in like just a month?
Launch in later spring.
Yeah. Revealed in March, launch in like end of May or something, or middle May or whatever.
I mean, I think technically we get a reveal in winter. We're getting that reveal in January. It's got to happen.
You think January? You think January? Okay.
That's what the rumors are saying. Of course, the rumors are nonsense. We've been listening to rumors about this thing. We're a Switch Pro for like 4 years now. So
they're gonna do it on Martin Luther King's birthday. Those assholes.
What if they have a special colorway that celebrates Martin Luther King Jr.
Or the day that when is Donald Trump gets in office? They'll do it that day.
Yep.
All right, so what is this? The second of two congressional hearings, speaking to the government, on video games takes place on March 5th. Topics for discussion include the depiction of violence and sexual content in games.
It needs more.
Their influence on children and the prospect of governmental regulation of video game content. And I bet you the games they had was probably Mortal Kombat. It's 94, right? No Mortal Kombat. They talked about
Night Trap.
Night Trap, yes.
Yep.
And what else? What other game was like a little controversial? Doom. When did the shooting happen? When did Columbine happen?
That was in like 98.
Okay, so I was in middle school. Okay, so that's a lot later. But then they blamed Doom, right? Is for
99 April of 99.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was in 8th grade. I think they say they played Doom. That was only like first person shooter I could think of.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, good God. I said,
I mean, there were a lot of like weird like mods and stuff for that at the time too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't. The only other first person shooters I really knew was GoldenEye and Turok. I mean, for me,
I love the idea that they're like, and these kids were radicalized by Turok, a game where you shoot dinosaurs.
Yeah.
If you can shoot dinosaurs, you can absolutely shoot people.
But Doom, you did the humans that you shot were supposed to be the possessed humans, but you mostly shot monsters.
Yeah,
like demons. All right. What else we got here? We got April. There was the Interactive Digital Software Association is founded in response to the hearings. Oh, this is when they
the ESRB.
ERB, yes. There you go. So this is what happened. This
Way
is what
to go,
we got.
Tipper Gore.
Yeah, it's the ESRB in order to self-regulate, just like the motion pictures. Also, in April 28th, we have Sega and MGM make a venture to create video game, movies, and television programs. Yep, we got finally that Sonic cartoon to come out. Also, the Computer Game Developers Association is formed by Ernest W. Adams. And also there we go. November, Game Zero magazine drops their print format and becomes the first video game news magazine on the web.
Oh, wow.
And what are they now? Are they non-existent, or what did they turn into? They were the first to join, the first to shut down.
Non-existent, yeah.
First to shut down.
Unfortunately, they probably just died of fate.
There were two ahead of the time, Daniel. We were not ready for the internet. We were scared. We were still scared of it a little bit then. We went on our print magazines, Daniel. We said, no, we need to be able to read things and touch with our hands. November 10th, William Higginbotham, creator of the Tennis for Two, dies at 84. Tennis for Two came out in 1958. What the fuck? Computers weren't invented then. It's not like you could play through a sonar thing. It's a sports game that simulates games of tennis. It was one of the first games developed in the early history of video games. American physicist William Higginbotham designed the game in 1958 to display at the Brookhaven National Laboratory's annual public exhibition. After learning that the government research institution's Donner Model 30 analog computer could simulate trajectories with wind resistance. He designed the game within a few hours, after which he and technician Robert V. Dvorak built it over a period of 3 weeks. The game was displayed on the oscilloscope.
Yes.
Am I pronouncing? Yeah. And yeah, it looked like something like you see over the radar shits, and that's crazy. That's cool. Yeah,
that's crazy. I wonder if that's the same Dvorak that the keyboard format comes from.
Look at it. They're busy supposed to look at sonar and stuff, and try to listen out for spies and shit, what's going on. And then it's I'm bored. Let me get a little game here.
Look at that, Dominic. It was running at 120 frames per second, too. It's a loud controller. Without clicky buttons. Jeez.
All right. Some hardware released in 94. You got the Iowa releases the Iowa Mega CD multimedia home console in Japan. Maybe that's why Nintendo said home of the cartridge. They were scared of that. The Iowa, whatever the hell, AY, whatever they pronounce it, console. Bandai releases the Play the multimedia home console. I think that was CD too. Yeah. Oh no, wait a minute. Yes, it was. Yeah.
That's why Nintendo had to fight back, Dominic.
Yeah, these are mostly Japanese things. The NEC releases the PC FX multimedia home console. Oh, okay. There's a lot of failed home consoles that released this year. That year. Sega introduces the North American cable TV Sega channel, in cooperation with Time Warner. AOL Time Warner. The subscription service provides Sega Genesis games via cable box to customers. Yes, I always wanted that. It also releases the Sega 32X for the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis in Europe and North America and Japan. And it released the Sega Nomad. That was the game that plays Sega Genesis games for your handheld, on a handheld. My friend had the Sega Nomad. Also, they released the Sega Saturn home console in Japan that year. Wow, Sega released a lot of shit that year. And I don't know if that was a good strategy. You released all the add-ons to the Sega Genesis and the Saturn. I mean, I think this is the start of the fall of Sega. I think that's what it was. When I was looking at that documentary. SNK releases the Neo Geo CD home console. Okay, so now it makes all sense now. It definitely makes sense why Nintendo said the year of the cartridge. Oh yeah, because look, Sony releases the PlayStation in Japan December 3rd. It was the end of '94 that Japan got it, and we got it the next year. So yes, now it makes total sense. Nintendo releases the Super Game Boy adapter to the Super Nintendo, and Atari Corporation discontinues the Lynx handheld system. All right, so but we still got the Jaguar, right?
Always.
Yeah, they kept that cat. They keep the cats. The Lynx, Jaguar. They should have had the Panther. That would have been the next one. If they would have last, it would have been the Panther, Daniel. All right, so that's it for '94 as far as like the year review. Yeah, pretty interesting, man. Pretty cool just to see like what some big events and things happen here, man, and how things progress like to now. It's pretty interesting. Like, yeah, Sega was like, this is like peak Sega. This is like they're at the pinnacle. Like they were big. And then this is like 94 is probably like the last year. 94, 95, maybe. I'll say maybe 95. And then like it's just start going downhill for them there until they go third party. All right. So now we're gonna look at the game awards, like we do every year. Look at past game awards. So, like what games were the top games that came out in 2014, 2013. I mean, I said 2013. I'm sorry. 2004 and 1994. And if there is a 1984, I'll say it. Like what was the top game that came out then? So let me get the list here. Basically, because do we have any news? Like any news?
Not really. There was kind of a big Halo leak, but I haven't seen too much about that yet.
Okay, so if we get more on that, we talk about that the next podcast.
They're like new game news that I've seen so far. So,
all right. So to do, oh man, let me find this page here. All right, so now we're going to start with these are the like actual award shows that have happened. So they go in alphabetical order up here, and then after the award ceremonies and shows, there's like publications like in their awards. So starting with the BAFTAs, which is the British Academy Game Awards. They only started in 1998, so we're not going to get 94. But in 2004, Half-Life 2 won.
oh yeah,
Game of the Year. Wow, yeah, this is going to. Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing this.
it's
This
gonna
is
be a
going to be
contentious year.
Yeah. So and for their 2014, they gave Destiny
Boo.
one.
I
Game
thought
of the
they had
Year.
taste.
Yeah, I thought those British were more sophisticated than that, Daniel. So they're more sophisticated. All right. So now we're going to the Czech Game Awards. This is basically for games that are in the Czech Republic area. Really, we said these games. We said these awards previous years, and they started in 2010. So we're only going to have 2014. So 10 years ago, they gave it to, and they separated in genres. So Medieval Engineers is a sandbox game. So that one for the sandbox genre. For the action RPG platformer, they gave it to Dex. Then they gave simulation video game, the simulation game. So to Monzo, and to an online card game, they gave it to Corabia. I don't know what this. I don't know what any of these games are. No. But good for them. Good for them. So now we're going to the Dice Awards. I know who Dice is. I know them. They started in 97, so no 94. In 2004 they gave it to Half-Life 2. And then in 2014 they gave it to Dragon Age Inquisition. That got the Game of the Year. So they did. So yes, that this 2014 was the year of middle. The was it war? Not war. What was it called? The Middle Earth game. Lord of the Rings. Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, because then it was Shadow of War, which was just silly.
Yeah. War. It should be Shadow Mordor. Yeah,
Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, Dragon Age Inquisition came out of the year. Yeah, it wasn't like a great year for games. I mean, it was a good year, but it was like, for game of the year. But like Destiny did come out. I mean, I know we were disappointed in it.
Yeah.
Dragon Age Inquisition won for the DICE. Electronic Gaming Awards. It was formerly the Arcade Awards. This started in 1979. So we actually got a 1984 award here. We got for the arcade, Star Wars won. I don't know what was the Star Wars game 1984 was. It looked like you were in maybe a TIE fighter, maybe. In this game, yeah, and it definitely not TIE fighter. You was in an X-wing, and you probably were shooting TIE fighters. Yes, the TIE fighters actually look like TIE fighters. I mean, the shape of a TIE fighter, because it's like you look at this game.
So many hexagons.
Yes, this is definitely those type of games. Yeah, man. What did I say? The control consists of a yoke with 4 buttons.
It's like I was really flying a plane.
2 trigger style and 2 in position to be pressed by the thumbs. Each of these fires are laser positioned on the 4 leading edges of the X-wings. I mean, for that time, man, it had to be so cool, man.
Oh yeah,
to be in that thing. It's like I'm doing it. I'm Luke Skywalker. I feel the Force. All right, what else they got here? Zexon is the best standalone. You know that game?
I've heard of it, but I don't. It doesn't immediately come to mind.
It's a Sega
what
game,
it looks
apparently.
like.
Sega was a developer for this one. I played this game. My dad had this game on the PC.
It was probably a knockoff. That was
I was gonna say,
Exxon or something.
I have no idea. I had no idea. But yes, look at this game. Yes, I have played this game. It's like almost an isometric view spaceship, like a shooter, like a space shooter game, something like that, an isometric view. A console game, Space Shuttle. I don't know what console was this on, and it won't let me click on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the computer game, Ultima 3 Exodus. I don't know what the hell standalone means then. Standalone, a dedicated console is a video game console that is limited to one or more built-in video game or games. Oh, okay. So it's something that you only can play this game on.
It's kind of crazy.
I wonder if is that like Tiger Electronic games?
Yeah.
How they consider standalones? All right. So yeah, the award ended in 1993. So that was it for the Electronic Gaming Awards. So now, and I'm guessing this had nothing to do with the magazine because I don't see that. All right, Famitsu. Famitsu is that Japanese Game Awards. Is voted by the Famitsu magazine readers.
By the readers. Interesting.
Yeah, but it's actually an award ceremony that's held since 2005.
Oh, that's cool.
Prior to 2005, the results were published in the magazine. So that's what I guess they put it in the ceremony thing because it was a ceremony for it and not just in publication. So we got in 2004, even though it started in 1986, they started this, but I don't see anything for 1994. I guess there was a...
They took a hiatus.
Maybe they have high standards. Maybe they have high standards.
There's no good game between 1992 and 2003.
Yeah. So 2004. Yeah, that's a lot of years. 2004, they got Monster Hunter 1. And Capcom. I guess I don't know when Half-Life came out in Japan. Like I don't know, and to me, I just think that they still wouldn't have done it anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, Monster Hunter was the game of the year. All right, so we got the Game Awards. The Jeff Keighley produced and host for Spike TV, initially.
Yeah.
And they started in 2014. So there we go. We got the year start 10 years ago. And Dragon Age Inquisition won that year. They were bought out by EA. All right. And yeah, because they even said it. Like, this is the 10-year anniversary of those awards. All right. GDC. The Game Developers Choice Awards started in 2000. And so 2004, we got Half-Life 2 wins. And then in 2014, we got Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor. So no, they did not give it to Dragon Age Inquisition. They said, no, this game, because of that, what's it called? What's the special engine thing where they got there? What's it called? What's it called that Middle-earth has? The
Nemesis system.
The system.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. The Nemesis system. They probably really just looked at that like, that. I mean, I can see that for GDC really doing that. Even though I think DICE should have did it too, though. I'm surprised DICE didn't.
Anybody would say should have, Dominic.
I'm just trying to think because Dragon Age was at the time, Dragon Age it was okay, but I mean, I feel like the Nemesis system thing was pretty. That would have got it over that, honestly, because I played both games and I even played.
They knew it was patented, so they didn't want to give them credit.
So now we at the Golden Joystick Awards. We're started in '83, so we got 1984. Night Lore won. And what is this game? Night Lore is developed published by Ultimate Play, the game, and written by company founders Chris and Tim Stamper. Game's known for use of isometric graphics. It's an action adventure game. Let me see what it looks like. Oh, okay. All right, that's interesting. Like we got, I mean, got a lot of reception for that time. This is like 84 people. This is before I was born. I didn't think the world existed before I was born, Daniel. This just confuses me. But look, it says Night Lore entered the UK video game charts in the week of November 1984, while Underrule was still number one, and went on to replace its predecessor at the time of the charts. At the top of the charts the following week. By the start of 1985, it has been succeeded by Ghostbusters. Oh yeah, Ghostbusters. I had that game. My family had that game. I couldn't play it worth shit, but I had to watch my brother play it. Now we did not get it in I was born in 1985, so obviously it wasn't like I was like an infant looking at somebody playing that game. I don't know when exactly we got it, but I remember watching my brother play it in like the late 80s. All right. What else? Okay, I'm trying to get out of here. Come on. Get back. All right. So yeah. So Night Lore won. So we go play that, Daniel, so you can see if this still holds up. All right. The 2004 for the Golden Joystick, we got Doom 3 won. And then we go to 2014, and we have, Dark Souls 2 won.
That's just wrong.
So they didn't pick either of those other two games. The
Doom. What are we doing? Doom.
Yeah. You said Doom. Okay. Well,
for 2004.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. What was the other game?
Half-Life 2.
That people picked. Oh, yes, right. You know what? Yes, that is wow. They picked Doom.
Nobody was picking Doom over Half-Life. What are we doing?
That is you know what? And I was gonna say maybe it didn't whatever. I don't know how they do the months, so maybe say maybe Half-Life missed it.
Yeah.
But you don't see it nowhere else, and unless. Was Half-Life going against San Andreas for their next year? Because that's who they're game of the year was for next for 2005.
Yeah.
But even still, I don't know. I probably would have picked Half-Life 2 over San Andreas just because of the revolutionary, like the physics and stuff. Like I mean, it would have been tough, but being as though that Grand Theft Auto won the last since they've been announced in 2003 and 2002, I would have like Vice City and 3. Yeah. But I mean, I'm just saying. I was assuming if it did miss the mark for this, because I don't know what's the date, but still, either game, I think it would have been up there. Yeah, but because if it did go against Doom 3, though, man, I'm just trying to think what other game besides Half-Life 2 came out that year. Like, I mean, Doom 3. I mean, yes, I know people they liked it. They some people probably loved it, but yeah, Half-Life. Yeah.
No, that flashlight mod, Dominic, nobody was loving that game.
But Dark Souls 2, I didn't even realize that came out that year. And
yeah, I neither.
That people had Dragon Age over that, and people had Shadow of War over that. So I mean, I guess was this like a disappointing Dark Souls game? Like they didn't like it as much as one. They really felt those games were that much better than this one?
I can never remember which one it is. If Dark Souls 2 is the one that people are kind of iffy about.
It got 91. It got 91 on Metacritic. So I don't know. I mean, for me, no, of course, because I'm not a Dark Souls guy, but I'm actually shocked. I'm actually shocked that, like, those other places didn't pick Dark Souls 2.
This is when people were smart enough to know that, like, oh, sure, it's a good game, but it's not game of the year. Like, this isn't good enough for that.
All right, so now we at the Japan Game Awards, which started in 1996. And they're a little biased here because I don't see no American games up here that's winning the awards. So boo. But yes, 2004 they had Monster Hunter. So yeah, I almost feel like Japan, man, they were picked. That's the game for 2004. Oh, yeah. And which is look at 2014. 2014 they actually got some categories. Action role playing game, Monster Hunter 4, and role playing games. They got Yokai Watch won. Wow. And which is funny, I mean, spoilers for next year, Yokai Watch 2 wins.
I mean, that's kind of crazy, too, because we're talking about a game, even with Monster Hunter, like, that's a 3DS game. That's not, that's not a main console game.
Yeah.
Shows how popular those were over there.
I almost think these awards are bought, because why is this year gets 2 categories, but the next year didn't? A few years, yeah, like, this is the only 2014 is one of the only years that have 2 categories.
Yeah,
they have Monster Hunter 4, and they're both role playing games. Now, one's an actual role playing, one's role playing, but still, it's like, what are you doing? Now, okay, 2012 they do have action, adventure, and fighting. This is weird.
But also, like, ain't nobody giving JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle a Game of the Year award. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I think I don't know, Daniel. I'm thinking those awards, yeah. I think it's a little suspicious about these Japan awards, man. That they take some money under the table here.
Or over the table.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are other categories. I'm curious, like, because it's Wikipedia here, but it's just like I'm curious why some years have more than one. All right, so that was it for them. And then you got the New York Game Awards, which started in 2011, and it's technically still a thing. I wonder why. What is the New York Game Awards? The New York Video Game Critics Circle hosts an annual award show that recognizes the best. Yeah, I wonder why. Like, why is this a thing? Like, why specifically New York? But
because Giuliani was like, we're gonna bring this country together with some video game awards.
Yeah, but I see some winners that are not American. So I was like, hey, why can't we be biased like the Japanese and just vote for our own?
This is no Czech Video Game Awards, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. 2014, we got Wolfenstein: The New Order. Oh, The New Order came out that year.
Oh, wow.
So that didn't beat out. I couldn't beat out Dragon Inquisition or Shadow of War.
Yeah, that's
Like I said,
surprising.
at least Inquisition, I think it should beat out. I would definitely give it that. Um, honestly, if I was going to pick between the three, I would pick New Order. I mean, Shadow of War, like I said, the Nemesis system
Yeah.
was good. I think that's a plus, especially for
I
developers.
don't think I
game
played
developers.
Wolfenstein until later because, yeah, like, I like that game a lot. Why would I have chosen Shadow War over that?
Yeah, so yeah, New York starting in 2011, so 2014 is the only one I could do. All right, so then you get the Spike Video Game Awards, which Jeff Keighley has hosted.
Yes.
Actually, I think he's hosted maybe all of them. I want to say. So it started in 2003. So we got 2004. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was the winner of those. So okay, so the Spike TV Awards. Yes, Madden was that last year was Madden.
The
So that's what
inaugural winner was Madden. You can tell what they
So
were
it's-
going for on Spike.
Yeah, so they said like, no, we're not. We're stopping that. And then let's see. Nope, they only went for 2004 to 2013 because 2014 is when they just had the Game Awards. And we already did that. This was Grand Theft Auto 5 at the time. Now we got South by Southwest, which started in 2013. So 2014 they gave it to Dragon Age Inquisition. And now we got the Video Software Dealers Video Software Dealers Association's
Ah, the
awards.
Vestas.
Yes, and this started in 1982. So we got 19. Well, I was say we had 1984, but no, we did not. They came back. They started in 82. Waited 10, 11 years. 1993, and then so for 94 we got Donkey Kong Country, and yeah. Now I'm thinking like, wait a minute, Donkey Kong Country came out that year. What the hell was the other years for 94? Like these other places I saw, because I did not see Donkey Kong Country, and I guess the Japanese didn't like it enough.
Nope.
Yeah,
Lemon Miyamoto.
Rare made it. Rare made it. Yeah, so so yeah, if it was Donkey Kong, probably like Mario or something throwing freaking barrels, maybe they they probably would have liked it.
I think this is actually the first one that we've come up across that has the 1994. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Because the other ones they would skip it.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't last. Or they wouldn't last as long. They were early, and then they didn't do it. Yeah. Okay. So Donkey Kong Country won that one. And that's it for as far as like actual events, games. Yeah, because that one only goes from to 2000. So now we're looking at Ars Technica. This publication of media. So Ars Technica started in 2012. So we got 2014 Dragon Age Inquisition. They gave it to it. Destructoid started in 2007. So all we got is 2014. So we got Bayonetta 2. Oh, they gave it to Bayonetta 2. Oh, that came out that year. Okay.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Easy Allies. Yes, that is actually pretty new. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
those
former
guys.
Game Trailer guys.
Yeah. 2016 they started. They have nothing. We can have nothing to say about them. All right.
They're not relevant to us at all.
Yeah. Edge started in 98. So we got 2004, Half-Life 2,
Of course.
obviously. And then we're going 2014. They gave it to Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So they said like no, F Wolfenstein, F Wardor. He's saying Wardor. I mean, and F Dragon Inquisition. They say Bayonetta 2, baby. Give me that sexy lady. All right. Electronic Gaming Monthly, EGM, started in 1988. So we got 94. They gave it Donkey Kong Country. Yep, I can see that. Definitely that. 2004, Halo 2. Woo! They didn't give it to.
Disgusting.
They didn't give it to Half-Life 2 or San Andreas.
Doom 3.
Well, San Andreas came out the next year. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Yes, that's the argument for next year. I look at the next year award. I'm a little mad, Daniel. I think that's racist. All right. So they got 2014 Dragon Age Inquisition. They gave it to Empire magazine. They started in 2014. Dark Souls 2. And then you have Entertainment Weekly. They started saying, "Hey, we want to do video games too now." In 2007. So we got 2014. No, they skipped 2014. They forgot that year. They forgot they was doing video games. Somebody messed up. They did. Yeah, honestly, don't have no award for that year. You know what? They had standards then. They said there was no game worth giving an award for 2014. That's not a good year. Eurogamer started in 1999 with their awards, and 2004 Half-Life 2. 2014 Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 came out that year? Wow. There was quite a few games that actually came out in 2014 that it didn't have to be Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm sorry. I'm disappointed in those people who pick Dragon Age Inquisition now. I mean, I guess maybe but Daniel, even then, after I played it, I wasn't high on it.
Yeah, no.
I'm just surprised that people were high on it that much. Yeah, because I think I was going by what people said about it, and after playing it, I was like, "Hey, this game is not that good."
I think even then, like, it felt like kind of a concession year, like regardless of who they were picking. But I feel like the outlets that were picking Dragon Age, it felt like they were saying, like, "Oh yeah, this is a weak year, but this is what wins it."
This is a popular enough game, even though I feel like I would have picked the Mario Kart 8 though. I would have. Even if I ain't
As
played
it turns
much of
out, that's even more popular.
Yeah,
selling billions a day.
Yeah. Shit. We haven't got Mario Kart 9. They just put 8 out again and just sold more on the Switch.
Yeah.
That's freaking crazy thinking about it, because as a few years from now, like, I forgot Mario Kart 8 was a Wii U game.
Yeah.
I honestly did. And
I forgot Wii U existed, period, Dominic.
Yeah. I honestly did. I really just thought, now that I think, it's like, they didn't even come up with a new Mario Kart 8. I mean, they did add stuff, though, to it, but just thinking about it, it's like, damn, they really just released that game again and just sold it for a full price and just kill it.
So we could get Mario Kart at launch to Switch 2, Dominic. That's why.
Oh my God! Yeah, Mario Kart here. That's gonna be Mario Kart Super Deluxe. It has everything.
Wait a second. We already had everything. There's nothing new here.
No. All right. Game Informer. They started their Game Awards in 1992. So 94 they gave it to Donkey Kong Country. And 2004 they gave it to Halo 2. So not even Half-Life 2 for them either, Daniel.
Crazy. Halo.
And this is why they're canceled.
I don't know, Dominic. Halo 2 20 years. over that and San Andreas, it seems kind of crazy.
Now San Andreas, did it come out in that year or did it came out the next year?
It came out in 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking crazy then. What was the other one that did Halo 2 then? We got write letters for 20
write letters to these defunct magazines and websites.
All right, 2014 it gives it Dragon Age
Doom
Inquisition.
3. Like, what are we even doing here, Dominic? Doom.
Yeah, Doom 3. Yeah. Oh my God. I would have picked. Well,
I could see if it was like PC Gamer or something like that, but
yeah.
Any other magazine? Come on, what are we doing?
I would have picked Halo 2 over Doom 3 just because of multiplayer too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in the hierarchy of things, I think Doom 3 is the lowest out of all these games.
Oh yeah, definitely. 2004. What else came out in 2004 that we saw? What was it? Monster Hunter for Japan, Japanese.
We don't count that though.
No, I blame them too. I don't care. I don't care that it was a Japan thing. It's like you like first person shooters over there. Give it the program. All right. So this is, I mean, come on, man. You have to love guns too. Hell,
They don't know. They don't know what a gun is, Dominic. That's why.
No, well, I mean, they are exactly what's them invented them, but your cousins did. Y'all do fireworks. Yeah, it's the same thing.
They've revolted against them extremely hard. That's what that was.
All right, let me see here. So GameSpot, we're at GameSpot, and they started in 96, so we're going 2004. World of Warcraft came out. Okay, see, look, that's another game then. So Game 3, wow, that came out that year. That was a good, 2004 was a good year.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I think that was disappointing for them. I think those real big Doom fans, they were just like, my dude is a shit, man. It's like, I ain't picking nothing else. I've been waiting for this game. I've been waiting for Doom forever. Doom 3 forever. I'm going to pick it to win. All right. 2014, they did Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. GameSpy, I remember them. They started in 1999 with the awards, so they got 2004 Halo 2. And they had, that was it, because they stopped in 2012.
GameSpy is kind of a multiplayer thing, so that's not entirely surprising, at least.
Oh no, I mean,
still like, wrong, but it's not surprising.
Oh yeah. It's like they still think like, come on, you still PC, man. Come on, Half-Life. Games Radar Plus. Well, they were always called Plus. They're called Plus now, but they were just medium sized then. Okay, 2006. They started, so we're going to start with, I guess, just 2014, and we got Destiny. They gave it a Destiny.
Disgusting.
All right. And Tista and them were gone by then.
Okay.
Gamest started in 1987. So we got 1994. The King of Fighters 94. Darn, they said F Donkey Kong.
That's ridiculous.
And they lasted till 1998.
Although, like, most of these are like fighting games, so they've clearly got a type.
Yeah, but they didn't start with the type.
Yeah,
they must have changed.
They're just competitors. That's what it is.
Yeah, they changed. They say, no, we're a fighting game magazine now. Yeah, because that's all it is Nexus fighting games. Yeah, maybe they did. Maybe they did change their outlook. Game trailers started in 2005, so we're going to just have to go straight to 2014 to Hearthstone. Hearthstone came out that year.
That's pretty crazy.
Wow. 2014. And here we go, Giant Bomb. But they started in 2008, so we only can do 2014. And they settled on Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
And that's one of those surprising things, because considering that whole cast, and that's the game they'll agree on, was that one. The Guardian. They started doing games in 2007. Yeah, I just never thought of The Guardian as... I guess, yeah, but it started in 2007. And they even skipped to 2010 after that. 2014, Mario Kart 8. Wow, they did it. They did it. That's good for them. They ain't picked Dragon Age Inquisition. You would think they would pick the popular ones. Well, they did pick a popular one, technically.
They picked the most popular.
It's a Wii U game, though. It's not that popular. It was
right. It's not the Switch version.
Yeah. The Switch version is what is the killer. Yes. So they actually... before that, they picked Super Mario 3D World. So maybe they're just these guys say we're Nintendo fans,
or they're the pocket of big fans. Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo said, "Listen, we can pay off the Guardian." They trying to get some, let's get some of these younger guys to get into that to their papers. All right, on our website, Hardcore Gamer started in 2012. In 2014, they did Dragon Age Inquisition. IGN started in 2001, so 2004, Half-Life 2. This is when IGN has standards, people. IGN was the standard. And then 2014, Dragon Age Inquisition. Then they got bought out. Oh, that's Kotaku started in 2007 with the Game Awards, and 2014 they said nope because nothing. They said there was no good games because I don't see nothing up here. They skipped 2014. PC Gamer started in 2011, 2014. I'm surprised PC Gamer. I feel like PC Gamer started before 2011. I'm surprised that they start their awards until 2011. That's crazy.
Or somebody didn't document them.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird they didn't. 2014, they gave it to Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation came out. Yeah, but Alien Isolation, I think that was in the 70 range in some places.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, not mean people. It's like people liked it, but they didn't like it. There wasn't like a non kind of with some people. Like it was like, hey, this is a really fun game, but it has its problems. Polygon. I remember when this started, 2012. Yeah. And they gave it to Dragon Age Inquisition. The Telegraph. I'm surprised they started their awards in 2008. I feel like something like them would have started back in 18, whatever the Telegraph was invented.
This is Jack the Ripper's top 10 games.
Yeah. They started in 2008. So we got 2014 Alien Isolation. They did Alien Isolation also. Time Magazine. They finally got into games in 2006. It took them that long. They finally said, okay, I think it's time these people get into games. They did Game Awards in 2014. 80 Days? The fuck is this?
I think that's that around the world.
It's an iOS game.
Yeah, I remember that being popular at the time.
Well, at least they went different. Yeah, they definitely went different. US Gamer. Here we go. This is the. You know what? Nope. Dad. No, I was tired of we gotta be the one that brings everybody together. Say, oh no, we don't discriminate against these Japanese companies or the Europeans. Why we gotta be the ones that do that, Daniel? Why can't we just be like, okay, this is just for US made games? They do it over there. Can I? This is one of those things Trump. One of those things I gotta send a letter to Trump about.
You think he reads?
But anyway,
somebody will read it.
But you know what? US Gamer it started in 2015, but it ends in 2020, so it doesn't last that long.
See, they wanted it.
Yeah,
it wasn't worth it.
Nah, but the games are up here. There's a couple Japanese games.
Yeah,
just a couple. Well, the other one, there's a European, technically, even though it's Western, I kind of consider Western game, I just kind of lump us all together. They're all white people, Daniel. that's really what I'm saying. All right, Yahoo, here we go. My favorite, that used to be my favorite search engine / email.
I was an Ask Jeeves guy.
Yeah.
And a Hotbot. No, I was a Hotbot guy.
I hated Ask Jeeves.
Felt judgy when you typed in your searches.
2007 is when it started. So all we have is 2014, and they gave it to Dragon Age Inquisition. So yeah, so that's it. It seemed like really it was Half-Life 2 was the big one for that for 2004. I mean, you had San Andreas and you had San Andreas in some places, because of when it came out, went to the next year, 2005. So in 2005, we might go see that. It's really the month it came out, because people, they have set time dates of what the awards are. Then you have some weirdos like Japan picking Monster Hunter and stuff. Then it's not joking. But what was the other one they did in 2004? That was
Doom.
That was Doom. Yeah, Doom 3. Yeah, they're the weirdos. Yeah, who did Doom 3?
I remember when it was a big deal leading up to it. Everything was Doom 3 versus Half-Life 2. But then it was it came out and people were not blown away by it, outside of maybe the graphical fidelity, because it was kind of over the top at the time. But
yeah, that was all I really heard about Doom really too.
Yeah,
was the graphics,
and you couldn't see him anyway because it didn't have a freaking flashlight on it, the gun.
And 94, Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
That was like the big one.
It's God's will.
And what was the other? Was there anything else really huge in '94? That was this dates in King of Fighters '94, the games. But and 2014, yeah, that's where it's like you got Dragon's Inquisition, you got Shadow of Mordor, you got Mario Kart 8, you have what was another one?
Bayonetta 2.
2014. Bayonetta 2, yeah, Bayonetta 2. Yeah, I'm thinking like now as me. I think at the time, yeah, I wouldn't have picked Mario Kart 8 only because I have a Wii U or whatever. And plus the Mario Kart. Man, even now, I'm not a huge fan, but I like it. I do like it though.
Yeah.
Looking back, I would pick between Mario Kart 8 and Bayonetta 2. See, I totally forgot about that. That's tough. Maybe I put Bayonetta 8 over Mario Kart 8, maybe, but Shadow of Mordor, I would have, yeah, because of the Nemesis system, I said like that's cool, but I don't know, Mario Kart 8 or Bayonetta would have been it for me. Like honestly, probably Mario Kart 8, just because that game looked so good, man, and it was fun. It's just. Like, but definitely not Dragon Age Inquisition. Like now, like looking back, and I think even people have said that though. Looking back, Dragon Age is just like that definitely doesn't like hold up. This doesn't hold up to like the games you played now, and like especially me playing it recently. I'm like, yeah, especially those people who were talking about comparing the Veilguard and Dragon Age Inquisition, saying like one's better. I was like, man. I definitely disagree on that because, like, I don't know. I think Veilguard is better than that game, though. I think Dragon Age is overall because it's been 4 games. Well, let me finish Veilguard. But right now, 1 is still better. But the next 2, they're an improvement. Well, 2 is the improvement is just the story. Gameplay wise, it sucks, and they could have done so much better just in the locations and like. Everything else, the only thing good was the story. Like everything else, I feel just a downgrade, basically, than 1. While 3/Inquisition was better as far as I think gameplay wise, even though they went more action route, which I don't want. But overall, I think it's better than 1, and that in the gameplay and the graphics and everything else, except for story. I feel like the overarching story is good. Just the execution of certain things just wasn't done as well. It could have been better. It could have been a whole lot better. Yeah, it was a fine game. It was fine, but the whole open world thing was not good. It was just too much. Yeah, it was too much doing nothing, like wasting time. Which games like Outer Worlds is what I appreciate what they done. Outer World, like any game like Outer World, the first one, like they're really good, but they're not super long. They don't outstay their welcome.
Yeah, a little more focused and refined.
Yeah. All right, so that's it. So is there anything else?
No.
Any new releases?
No,
they actually
new
came
releases.
out. I was about to say, I'm wondering. All right, so
Just
that's
Sonic
it for
3
podcast.
in the theaters, Dominic.
Oh yeah, Sonic 3. Yeah. I think it. Well, I know it's done well.
Yeah. I just saw it's
it beat
doing
out-
better than Mufasa, it looks like. So.
Mufasa. But how is Mufasa ratings wise?
I
People like
have
it?
no idea even. I forgot it even come out. Mufasa.
Is it K-Pasa?
Que pasa su pasa. 6.8 on IMDb, 56% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh, not good. Not good.
But an 88 popcorn meter, Dominic, which means, audience score.
I don't care about that. The people don't know what the hell they want.
When's Gladiator 2 come out? Isn't that supposed to be out now?
Yes, that is actually on one of the streaming stations. Max, maybe?
Already?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I see it advertised.
Let's see. Oh, it did come out November 22nd, so I guess it has been out for a while. Let's see, what did it get? It got a 6.8 on IMDb and a 71% on Rotten Tomatoes, so maybe nothing to be excited about, I guess.
I don't know. 71 is okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible.
Nah, yeah, it's a tomato.
It's tomato, yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta hurry up and eat it.
It's getting to the end of its date.
Yeah, it's getting there. Hurry up and chop it up. Put it on a sandwich or whatever you want to put it in. Or chop it up, put it in your omelet or whatever.
I want the original Gladiator, but you replace with the Emperor or whatever in that with Denzel Washington.
Is Denzel an emperor?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, he's I think he's like the guy who does something with the fighters or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably like the gamesman or something.
Yeah,
my man. All right,
that's what he said.
I'm pretty sure that's what people were saying. That even in this movie, he's just being Denzel. So. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see Denzel just chew up the scenery in this movie.
I'm shocked that this gets a sequel. Like now.
Yeah, especially now, yeah. I mean, we're at that point, right, where we've just run out of creativity, so we're like, all right, let's get Ridley Scott back in here.
It's like, yeah, well, here's the thing. It's like I don't think we really ran out. I mean, look.
We stopped trying, Dom, and we didn't run out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to think, like, is there any story that you can really, like, I mean, but then again, yeah, like I said, that takes a creative mind, right? But it's not even just, it's like, you know, you could, even if you tell like something that's a similar story, why does it have to be a 2? You know what I mean? Why can't it just
because you instantly get that name cachet. Like if
I know the reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just speaking hypothetically. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the cash and stuff. I mean, the money is where it's at. But I'm just thinking like, it's just funny how we've got to a point where as much money as like, as richer as these companies get, the safer they get. It's they don't, and that's which is it's hard. That's exactly opposite what people would think, you know, initially. You have to take
the big risks to get the big payoff. That's what it's all about. And then once you get there, you don't want to lose that spot. So
you don't want to lose it. Yeah.
Start being cautious.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you would think like, okay, yeah, you can still be safe, but you have enough money that you can just
right.
Nope. You can do something. Yeah, but like Disney, that's what I'm saying. I like the whole Disney stuff, and I know there's other companies. They're not the biggest one because there's I think either Time Warner or I think AT&T is somebody, whatever their thing. Like you go under their branch, they got a lot more. But even still, they're part of Disney's the ones that's out there because that's all they do basically. They mean the biggest thing is their movies and stuff. While AT&T, you don't see them broadcast, oh, this movie is also AT&T kind of owns it. You don't see the name. You don't see the name attached to it. So so public wouldn't know. Because I sure didn't know. I didn't know how much they own when I was looking at the top things. But I'm just speaking of Disney, is that like, I figured like, yeah, okay, they get Star Wars, they get Marvel stuff. Now, go and take some chances on some stuff. And some things I look at, I'm like, okay, they did take chances with Marvel, but they've been too safe to me. And then the being too safe hasn't been paying off. And so it makes it worse because to me it's like y'all gonna go probably almost even safer than now because look, they kind of did because they got Robert Downey Jr. back.
Yeah.
So it was like, man, that freaking sucks. Because I just saw something about how much they spent on Star Wars, like how much the 2 Andor series cost, and like it's it's up there in the high millions or billion or something. I mean, I think it's the high millions. Something ridiculous that you wouldn't think for something that's not totally flashy or nothing like any other Star Wars or nothing, that they spend this much money on, that actually, other than the latest Star Wars series that came out, wasn't like the most watched. And I mean, even though it was technically the best, like as far as quality, it's like, why are you spending this much? Like, doesn't cost. Like, why are you spending as much on these series? Like, you don't have to be good. Like, you don't have to spend this much on these things to be good. Like, and so when people say, "Oh, it's a failure," it's like, well, it's kind of your own fault, man. It's almost like that's the same problem with the video games, though. So I'm like, oh, so it's not just them. It's not just video games that's like the big spending money. Is them too, like spending a lot of money on these.
Yeah, because you
like,
used
movies.
to have like underprints for Disney, like Miramax, that would, make these movies for far less, And, and you just don't really see that anymore in the same way.
Definitely not the same way. And it's kind of, because I was thinking like, okay, yeah, you can spread out the Marvel, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. I think Agatha was a thing where it didn't cost as much.
Yeah. And
it was a bigger payoff for it. Like, people actually enjoy it for what it is. I mean, it's not my thing, but for what it is, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I wish there was some other things, like something, they'll do some chances like that where you don't have to spend much on it, but it's still something that's some kind of quality to it. And they know what quality is. That's the thing. It's not like, oh, they probably thought it was good. No, listen, these guys know what's good. These guys don't come out shocked. They kind of know, like, oh, this is going to be a failure, but we got to put something out.
Yeah.
They know what, so they know how things turning out. It's the surprise. Yeah, some things are surprising, but most things, to be honest, most things aren't surprising. They know, like, if something's not going to be good or not. And man, I'm just saying, overall, Star Wars, that hasn't been good. I say the Marvel stuff overall is still good, even though lately it hasn't been great. Overall, it's still great. I mean, it's still good.
It had such a long run too.
Yeah, exactly. So, but Star Wars, that actually has not turned out to be great so far. Like, the only thing good from it is Mandalorian. I like Andor. And I mean, initially, I would say like the first episode 9. No, I said not 9.
First of the reboot.
No. Okay, all right, yeah. Episode 9, but that was also very safe. And
it was literally that movie again. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, dude, y'all really, and then the whole thing of them not even meeting, and now looking at it overall, when you got the whole thing, it's like, yeah, it actually, the quality of that worsened. Because it's like, damn, I want to at least have Han Solo meet Luke again. Can they at least meet each other before they die? It's like, damn, that's some fucked up shit. Yeah, and then you know what? And I'm thinking about Star Wars. One time I was just thinking about Star Wars. So I was like, you know what? Like, the whole universe Star Wars, that's like overall great. I mean, it's a great universe, and probably all the stories with either books, comics, toys, all that stuff, all great. But if you just go by pure movies, I guess you can only say, as for quality of movie, there's only been 2 that's been good. 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because 3, man, people like, the older people probably remember who's really into it, but like, some people like, right? It's like, you forget, like 3, that wasn't really light, because of that whole thing with the Ewoks was not good. It's like they like, that was the Jar Jar shit of that time.
Yeah.
And like, Jar Jar just made that shit look good. That's what it is. He just made Ewoks don't look that bad. Like, as a little kid, I would have liked the Ewoks as a little kid, because my sister liked Ewoks. But also, I'm a little kid, and if that's the case, you waste, because if that's the whole point, it's like, oh no, they're for the little kids though. It's like the kids like the other Star Wars. Why you didn't have to make no freaking like koala bears doing shit. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. And that they won, I said, come on, man. Like, they fighting the freaking troops. I said, come on, get out of here with that. Like, yeah, like, darn. I was like, darn, man, Star Wars is actually only 2 good movies. So that's pretty bad. I mean, but they created a nice universe. But I was like, darn, they're going to get, like, at least the next 6. Could have something that turned out to be very good.
Yeah.
I said, come on, darn. Like, well, Lucas, like, he acted up. Like, he really, but I like, man, yeah, Disney, you had a chance. And I don't know what the hell y'all were thinking with the whole freaking, having 3, well, like having different directors.
I was gonna say just not having a story to tell. I think that's the biggest problem. Like, you could have had different directors.
Oh no!
Granted,
well,
I mean, when you go with like Rian Johnson versus what's his name, like they're obviously like stylistically and story wise going in completely different directions. But like, if Disney at least had like a blueprint for where they wanted this to
that's
go,
what I really meant.
Yeah,
because I mean, the other movies had was different directors, but it's just that, that's what I really meant. It's like, that's so weird that you would have it where you don't have blueprint, and the Giants just say, hey, they said they gave it to me and said I could do what I want. Yeah. And I'm thinking that's weird if you're trying to make a story of continuation or something. Like, why would you do that?
Right. Yeah, like, it's a trilogy. What are you going to do with these 3 movies? Yeah. Well, in the 3rd one, we're just going to magically have Palpatine come back.
And that's the thing. Here's the thing. It's like, with that's something you should be a little safe with. Like, I mean, safe as far as, because I mean, that's where you make sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing, it's like, oh, some artsy stuff. Oh, look, we're going to do something weird. We're going to have somebody do this story, and they're going to just take this and just really just change shit up. It's like, you don't do that with the thing. That's something you do a smaller project or something. You want to do something weird. You don't do that with like a big franchise. Like, that's different. You have little side stories and stuff that be different and things. Yeah, that makes sense. But if you're doing like a real cohesive story, what the hell, man? So what the hell are you doing? It's like, that was so weird that they did that. God darn. And it sucks because, even though that Rian Johnson was privately like artistically or like, because I'm not a freaking artsy like guy with like movie quality and stuff like that. Maybe that movie is artistically like the better movie, right? But honestly, the movies I enjoyed more was that 9th one and 11th one. What is it? Wait a minute. How does shit go there? No, Daniel. I'm sorry. The
7th,
the 9th one, and the wait a minute. What the okay?
The 7th one. The
7th.
Yeah.
7th one. Yeah, 7th and 9th one
is 3.
Those the best ones. Oh, so I didn't mean 9th. I didn't like the first time. I meant 7th.
Yeah.
The 7th one was the best one for me. That's what I meant.
We all knew, Dominic. We all knew.
I was talking about the 7th one was the best of the latest trilogy. That was my favorite one, the first one, because it was so safe. But then, but the 7th and 9th one I enjoyed them more than the 8th one, even though, they had definitely the 9th one had its problems. I mean, it was problems in that one, but I still enjoyed it more than I did the 8th one though. And yeah, it was just crazy. I don't know how I even got to here. I don't know how I got talking about this. But anyway, I think we're talking about movies where they're coming out.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we can end this podcast.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStarWorth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. It has links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google, YouTube Music, Amazon, Spotify, any other place you find audio podcasts. It's going to be another new year when we next record, Dominic. So thank you guys, as always, for listening this entire year.
2025.
Crazy. Until next time, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. See you.